Hi there and welcome back to Creative Wednesday, and this week's episode is sponsored by Filmconvert CineMatch, which is a plugin for DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere Pro, which we are going to work with. Now for the most tips, because not everything is post-production related, we could use in theory the built-in Lumetri. And if you're familiar with that already, you could easily translate what we're going to do with CineMatch to that. But you'll also notice that it's going to be so much more easy and more accurate using CineMatch. So without further ado, let's get started. CineMatch has two major functionalities: changing the footage to the color science of a different camera and matching the colors of different cameras together. Now when we talk about cinematic colors, or that what comes out of a cinema camera like a RED or an ARRI, there are a few things different from the typical video look which comes out of a camcorder or consumer SLRs. And one thing is the color green. With CineMatch, it goes super easy to change that. We start off by selecting the source camera and the picture profile that you were using, and next we select the target camera, for example, the Red Dragon. And that's it. I know, super easy. Now, if you think that, for instance, the green colors are still not right, we can change those very easily down here. And also, if your camera or picture profile is not on the list, then you could also just not select a target camera and bypass that. Now, I'm gonna do that on an example shot right here because this one suffers extremely from that green problem. This green in this shot screams in your face. It looks more like nuclear waste. That's because digital cameras are more sensitive to green, and some cameras suffer more from producing this flashy green, definitely with trees. So what I'm gonna do is jump into the match refinements. Now unlike Lumetri's curves, these actually do work very well. Now you want to use the HSL secondary if you want to do the same thing with Lumetri, but let me show you how easily it goes with CineMatch. You take the source color picker and select the green. Then select what you want to change about it, the hue, the saturation, or the lightness. And then easily move the middle dots up or down. For the green, we want to change the hue and bring them more towards yellow, making them warmer and softer. And you might also want to bring down the saturation. Look at that, much better and more natural leaves than we had previously. The second color is red. Cinema cameras produce a much deeper and more natural red. My GH5, for instance, leans a lot more towards magenta, again making those red colors scream in your face. In skin tones, we can find out that it feels very unnatural and cheap. We'd like to push some green into the reds or the skin tones, and also make them a little bit deeper. Now an interesting thing with CineMatch is that we can again select the target color, but instead of manually changing the selection, I'm going to take a different shot or a photo of skin tones that feel natural and look really good. I can then just use the target color picker and select those skin tones, which will automatically make the adjustments for me. Now looking at the before and after, this is a big improvement and it's bringing us closer to that cinematic look. Now if you want to use the plugin to match multiple camera, then it works exactly the same. For instance, we've got a GH5, a Sony 7R III, a Red Gemini, and an iPhone 12. All of them are filming the exact same scene and lighting. Starting off in Premiere Pro, we set the source camera correct and then choose one target camera for all of them. Let's bring them all to the colors of the red. If needed, you can tweak the colors like we've seen before, and of course you want to match the exposure and all as well, which we'll dive into in a moment. But try and figure out which one is the real red footage here. Where's Dora? Dora! That's right, it's this one. Let me know in the comments if you got that right or not. Tip number 2, which is more production related, but make sure that you avoid having overexposed areas in your shot. Definitely things like the sky tends to get blown out quickly. Try to keep detail in those areas, and if that makes your subject too much underexposed, ask yourself if it's still okay or if you need to make a change to your framing or scene. Now of course, smaller practical lights in the background isn't a big problem, but if it's a window, I do suggest to get some detail from outside. If it's really hard to do, then don't have a prominent window in the back. The same thing goes for white balance and tint. You're gonna save so much trouble in post if you've shot in a correct white balance. You can also just do a lot more, as it's not easy to fix an off white balance. It's a very common mistake to forget about the temperature, but having a clean shot is again closer to that cinematic look. If you did, however, screw it up, CineMatch is there to help us again. Ideal skin tone exposure should lay around 60 to 70%. Now you can draw a mask and then look at the waveform, waveform, or you can just toggle this option in CineMatch and make sure that the orange highlights the skin. It's that easy. And by the way, this plugin also keeps your camera profile in account as you make these changes. The tint and white balance works the same way, and they also have these guides controls. Tip number 3. Here are 2 shots, both filmed handheld. In one of the shots, I'm paying attention to always retain a good framing. My focus is good, I don't make too rapid movements, and the framing remains kinda the same. In the other shot, I'm not paying attention to any of those. Sometimes I wander off with the framing, and then I quickly reframe doing a rapid movement. This is a common mistake. You want to make sure not to draw attention to the camera movement. Handhelds can be part of the story, but if it gets annoying, it's usually not a good way to go. When I went to film school, we weren't even allowed to film handheld in the first year. We had to shoot everything from a tripod, and that's because handheld is not as easy as it seems. You learn the basics from a tripod. A steady shot with a strong composition is oftentimes better than sloppy handheld movement. And with that third tip, we are again closer to that cinematic look, but we can take it a step further with the very basics of lighting. Now personally, I believe that lighting is the most important aspect of a professional look. Now, of course, it's not something that you can learn within one YouTube tutorial. And we do have an entire introduction class. If you're interested, I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. But if I could give one golden tip, it'll be to always create shadows. That's it. If you would place a light right onto your subject, it becomes very flat since you're casting a shadow on the back. You want to see the shadow, so place your light always in an angle, or even place it behind the subject, creating a backlight. Shadows help us understand that we're dealing with a three-dimensional object, so the more depth that we can add, the better. And you can apply this rule to every situation. The outdoor sunlight, lights coming through a window, some decorative lights, and of course, studio lights. Now, if you're completely new to lighting, something that might help is to visualize a 45-degree angle approximately from the perspective of the camera. Always place your lights outside of this cone. And this brings us to the last tip, which is about color grading and adding overlay effects. Now, we've seen previously that CineMatch also provides us with color grading tools, which will always act upon the camera and profile that you've chosen. So they work really well. But when it comes down to grading, there are a few things to pay attention to. First is clipping. Make sure that you don't clip bright and dark areas. Always keep detail on those parts. And the same thing goes for saturation. Don't overdo it. You can use the waveform and vector scope to measure how much you can push the levels and the colors. For the saturation, you want to stay within these guidelines. And as you're starting to create a specific look, it usually turns out better if you keep it subtle and make sure that important colors like skin tones stay natural. A very common mistake is creating that teal and orange look and having your actors look like pumpkins. And finally, our overlay effects like lens flares, film burns, grain, whatever. Keep them natural if you want to use them, and don't overdo any of them. Now, Filmconvert also has a plugin called Nitrate, which helps to create that authentic film color and also dynamic grain. It works the same as CineMatch, where you also need to select your camera source, and it works really well. And those were my 5 tips to get that cinematic look featuring CineMatch. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new. Don't forget to subscribe to see us every week. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Filmconvert, for the support. You can click the first link in the description down below to learn more. And as always, stay creative.